Some stories exist in the shadows of history, hidden in texts left out of the Bible. These are tales that have survived on the fringes, whispered about by scholars and seekers, but rarely read by the masses. The Book of Enoch is one of these mysterious and controversial works, shrouded in legend and secrecy. It claims to be written by Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, a figure who, according to Genesis, walked with God. This ancient text was once cherished by early Christians and Jews who saw in it a source of wisdom and revelation. Over time, however, it was set aside, considered too strange, too detailed, or too challenging for the mainstream canon. Its vivid descriptions of angels, visions, and cosmic battles were seen as unsettling, even dangerous. Yet the Book of Enoch offers a unique window into an ancient world teeming with spiritual beings, cosmic drama, and mysteries that stretch far beyond the familiar stories. The Book of Enoch is a tapestry of visions, prophecies, and journeys into the heavens. It takes readers on a tour of the cosmos, revealing realms and secrets hidden from ordinary eyes. It reveals the structure of the universe, the names and ranks of angels, and the secrets of creation itself, details that fascinated and sometimes frightened its earliest readers. Its most famous tale is about the Watchers, angels who rebelled against divine order, descending to earth and forever altering the fate of humanity. Unlike Genesis, Enoch gives us the full unsettling story, their motives, their names, and the catastrophic consequences of their forbidden actions. It fills in the gaps left by the Bible, offering a deeper, darker perspective. This book transforms the story of the Great Flood from a simple tale of human wickedness into a cosmic drama of betrayal, forbidden love, and the struggle between heavenly and earthly powers. For those seeking the stories behind the stories, the Book of Enoch is a treasure trove, filled with secrets, mysteries, and revelations that challenge what we think we know. It reminds us that beneath the surface of history lie older, stranger tales, stories that still captivate, inspire, and haunt us to this day. The story begins in the heavens, a realm of unimaginable beauty and order, where the will of the divine shaped all things. Here the Watchers, angels tasked to observe humanity, were given a sacred duty, to watch but never to interfere, no matter what unfolded below. Yet as they gazed down, witnessing the lives and beauty of mortal women, a forbidden longing began to stir within their hearts, growing stronger with each passing day. Semjaza, the most powerful among them, feared the consequences of acting alone. Driven by both desire and uncertainty, he summoned 200 Watchers to a secret meeting atop Mount Hermon. There, beneath the stormy skies, they made a solemn pact, swearing an unbreakable oath to descend to earth together, to take human wives and to father children with them. This was no accident. It was a deliberate, calculated rebellion, a crossing of the ultimate boundary between the divine and the mortal. Their union with humans was not just forbidden, it was an abomination, a betrayal of the trust placed in them by the heavens and a shattering of the cosmic order. The children born from these unnatural unions were the Nephilim. Giants, part angel, part human, beings of immense power and mystery. The Nephilim possessed supernatural strength and forbidden knowledge, quickly becoming a terrifying and dominant presence on earth, feared by all who saw them. Their birth marked the beginning of the world's corruption, a living symbol of heaven's fall and the start of a new, darker era for humanity. The Watchers' rebellion tore at the very fabric of creation, introducing chaos, violence, and suffering into a world that was meant to be pure and harmonious. The consequences of their actions would soon spiral far beyond anything they had imagined, unleashing forces that threatened to destroy everything. The stage was set for catastrophe as the world braced for the fallout of this heavenly rebellion. The Watchers brought more than themselves to Earth. They brought forbidden knowledge. Azazel taught humans to forge weapons, turning metallurgy into a tool for war. He also taught women the arts of seduction and deception. Other Watchers revealed secrets of sorcery, astrology, and root cutting for magic. These were not gifts, but poisons disguised as progress. Humanity, unprepared, descended into chaos. Violence, vanity, and godlessness spread. The Watchers' knowledge empowered humanity's darkest impulses. The world became sophisticated in corruption, losing its innocence. The Watchers promised enlightenment but delivered damnation. Their shortcuts bypassed natural growth, trading virtue for power. The result, a world overwhelmed by wickedness, transformed by destructive tools and ideologies. The seeds of ruin had been sown. The Nephilim, children of the Watchers and human women, grew into giants, overwhelming in size and appetite. They devoured all food, then turned on animals, and finally on humanity itself. Their reign was one of terror, violence, and cannibalism. The Nephilim embodied lawlessness, oppressing mankind and filling the earth with bloodshed. No human could stand against them. They were a plague upon the world. Their presence amplified the wickedness unleashed by the Watchers. The cries of the oppressed rose to heaven, and the earth groaned under their evil. The archangels, Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel, witnessed the bloodshed and carried humanity's pleas to God. The world was on the brink, consumed by the monstrous offspring of a cosmic rebellion. Divine intervention was inevitable. The fate of the Nephilim and their creators would soon be sealed. The anguished cries of humanity rose up, echoing through the heavens, reaching the ears of God. The archangels, guardians of the divine order, gathered in solemn assembly to present the case against the Watchers, those fallen angels who had defied their purpose and corrupted the world below. Alongside the Watchers stood the Nephilim, their monstrous offspring whose violence and chaos had spread like a plague. God looked upon the earth and saw a world tainted and broken, its innocence lost, its people suffering under the weight of corruption that seemed beyond redemption. In response, God decreed a judgment that would echo through eternity. The archangel Raphael was commanded to seize Azazel, the chief instigator, binding him in chains and casting him into a realm of darkness, where he would remain until the final reckoning. The other Watchers, stripped of their power, were imprisoned in shadow, forced to witness the downfall of their own children. The Nephilim, part mortal and part divine, were condemned to destruction. God set them against each other, inciting a war that would bring about their own end. The giants clashed in brutal combat, their immense forms falling one by one, their legacy of violence erased by their own hands. Yet this was only the beginning. To restore balance and cleanse the earth, God unleashed the great flood, a cataclysmic deluge that would wash away the corruption. The flood was not merely a punishment, but a profound act of purification. Only Noah and his family, untainted by the blood of the Nephilim, were chosen to survive and carry forward the hope of a new humanity. As the waters receded and the sun rose over a cleansed world, the legacy of the Watchers remained, a reminder that the cosmic rebellion had forever altered creation. The Great Reset was about to begin, and nothing would ever be the same. God instructed Uriel to warn Noah of the coming cataclysm. Noah was told to build an ark, preserving his family and every kind of creature. The flood was total. Waters rose, mountains vanished, and all life outside the ark perished. The Nephilim, for all their might, were swept away, yet their destruction was not the end of their influence. The book of Enoch explains, "The spirits of the Nephilim, neither fully human nor angelic, became earthbound. These spirits, denied rest, became the origin of demons, malevolent forces haunting humanity. The flood cleansed the world physically, but a new spiritual threat emerged. Evil would persist, now as unseen spirits tormenting the descendants of Noah. The battle between good and evil was far from over." After the flood, the world was cleansed but haunted. The Nephilim's spirits, trapped between worlds, became demons, disembodied, malevolent, and earthbound. They afflict, oppress, and tempt humanity, causing chaos while remaining unseen. The book of Enoch gives these spirits a name and a purpose, the lingering legacy of the Watchers' sin. Their presence explains why evil and temptation persist even after divine judgment. The struggle between good and evil is not just human weakness, but a spiritual battle against these restless forces. The curse of the Nephilim outlived their bodies, shaping the worldview of ancient peoples. Life became a spiritual battleground, with humanity caught between God and the hungry spirits of the fallen giants. The shadows of the past continued to haunt the present. The tale of the Watchers and Nephilim is more than ancient horror. It's a warning about forbidden knowledge. The Watchers gave humanity secrets before we had the wisdom to use them, leading to violence and godlessness. The story warns that power without virtue is destructive, a lesson for any age. The Watcher's sin was crossing boundaries, unleashing chaos by defying divine order. Their misuse of power turned them into tyrants, oppressing rather than guiding. The narrative shows how superiority demands responsibility. Without it, ruin follows. Evil in this story has a supernatural origin, born from angelic rebellion and made manifest on earth. The spirits of the Nephilim continue to plague the world, framing the human struggle as part of a cosmic conflict. The story urges vigilance, reminding us that the fight against evil is ancient and ongoing. Divine help is needed to overcome the darkness unleashed by forbidden acts. The story of the Nephilim, fallen angels, giants, and a world drowned in wickedness still fascinates us. It taps into our curiosity about origins and the mysteries beyond history. The Nephilim echo through myths, legends, and modern pop culture, from ancient titans to comic book heroes. Their story is retold in books, films, and games, keeping the myth alive. For some, it's more than myth, a literal account explaining ancient mysteries and hidden histories. The Nephilim symbolize the consequences of breaking sacred rules and the monstrous results of forbidden unions. Their tale explores sin, power, and judgment, forcing us to confront the nature of evil and the boundaries between human and divine. Whether fact, allegory, or myth, the Nephilim's story remains a haunting whisper from a lost world.